Close your eyes for a moment and imagine Alexandria in the year of 415 CE. A city of scrolls, a city of knowledge, a city where ideas were as powerful as armies. And walking through its marble streets, a woman who even outshined the brightest minds, none other than Hypatia. Life is an unfoldment, and the unfolding of life involves many unpleasant things. Her unfoldment would lead to brilliance and tragedy. And one thing is clear, the world was not ready for her. She was born around 360 CE in a home filled with learning. Her father, Theon of Alexandria, was not just any scholar. He was the last head of Great Library and Museum of Alexandria, the final guardian of ancient world knowledge. He raised Hypatia not as a daughter to be sheltered, but as a mind to be sharpened. Under her father's guidance, she learned not just mathematics, but literature, science, philosophy. She had a well-rounded education that was rare for a woman of her time. Her philosophy was deeply Neoplatonist, meaning she believed in going beyond the physical world, using abstraction to reach higher reality, what they call the One. One of her students was Senius of Cyrene, who later became the Christian bishop, and he deeply respected her. She traveled to Greece, studied the ideas of Plato, Aristotle, and Plotinus, and returned to Alexandria not as a student but as a force. A woman who refused to fit the world's shape. She refused to live the life expected of women. She wore a philosopher's robe. She drove her own chariot through crowded streets, a shocking act at that time. She lived freely, boldly, and without apology. And as Hypatia said, to take superstition as truth is the most terrible thing. She did not bow to superstition, she challenged it. The teacher who attracted empires. By 400 CE, Hypatia became the head of Alexandria's Platonic school. Student travels from across of the empire just to hear her. Synesius of Cyrene, who later became a Christian bishop, called her the holy philosopher and wrote to her for guidance, even as he held high office. She was not just a teacher, she was a phenomenon. And as Hypatia said, fables should be thought as fables. Let us demand truth. And she demanded truth above everything. She wrote great commentaries on the great works of Greek mathematics, Apollonius, Conics, Diophantus, met, and improved Ptolemy astronomical tables. She built scientific instruments with her own hands: hydrometer, hydroscope, silver astrolabe, planetary models, and devices that help people to measure and understand the heavens. She made knowledge touchable. She made truth visible. Hypatia did not just speak about the universe, she held it in her hands. The city divides and Hypatia stand in the middle. Alexandria was changing, temples destroyed, old ideas collapsing, and new power rising. When Cyril became the bishop, the climate of tolerance disappeared. Soon Cyril and Orestes, the Roman prefect, were locked in a political battle, and in the middle stood Hypatia. Orestes sought her advices. Crowds saw her speaking to him. Rumor spreads like wildfire. The rumor spreads like she is manipulating him, she is blocking peace, she is too powerful. And these type of accusations were blamed on Hypatia. Fear grew, and fear turned wisdom into suspicion. और हालात यहाँ तक पहुँच गए कि एक फिलोसफर को चुड़ैल कहा गया, calling the philosopher a witch. Her scientific instruments were misunderstood. Her freedom was threatening. Mind was intimidating. And so the whispers become accusations. Witch, sorceress, enchantress. Not because she used magic, but because she used mathematics. They feared her because she thought freely and taught everyone to do the same. Hypatia brilliance becomes her crime. Political and religious turmoil. Alexandria in Hypatia's time was deeply divided. Christians, pagans, and Jews all lived there. And while she was pagan, a Platonist, she maintained deep respect across religion lines. One of the biggest political figures Hypatia was connected to was Orestes, and unfortunately this became the reason that leads her to death. Hypatia had a close relationship with Orestes, not sexually but politically. He even sought her advices. On the other side was Cyril, the bishop of Alexandria. When Cyril came to the power, the tension escalated. Some historians argue that Hypatia's influence over Orestes made her a political threat. According to National Geographic, although there is no direct proof, Cyril ordered her death. His network, including a group called Parabolani, probably carried out the killing. According to historians, Orestes leaned on her. He saw in her not just a philosopher, but a strategic ally, someone who could help him build a bridge to pagan community and the city elite. Hypatia taught us that education is not just power, it's a purpose. She stood firm in the edge of chaos, not because she was fearless in battle, but because she was fearless in thoughts. Her only crime, she knew too much. Simply, she was ahead of her time. Hypatia was Platonist, yet she tolerated and even taught many Christian students. Enter Orestes, the Roman prefect governor of Alexandria, and his conflict with Cyril of Alexandria, the Christian bishop. Orestes represented the secular Roman authority. Cyril represented the rising Christian authority. The struggle for control of Alexandria was very heated. Hypatia, because of her reputation, teaching, and moral authority, got drawn into this struggle. She was seen by many as an ally of Orestes. Some even claim that she was even influencing Orestes. Rumors circulated that she was keeping Orestes away from reconciliation with Cyril. In short, her status as scholar became entangled with politics, and that entanglement would prove fatal. The last day of the brilliant mind. March 415 CE. Hypatia was returning home when a mob stopped her carriage, and she has no guards unlike Orestes. They dragged her into church, stripped her, beat her with roofing tiles, and burned the remains. Her death horrified even Christian historians, who called it as a brutal crime. She studied the stars, but it was darkness on the earth that killed her. The greatest mind of Alexandria was silenced by the fear. But her flame did not die. She became something larger than a scholar. She became a symbol of courage, of free thought, of women in science, of the internal fight between knowledge and fanaticism. Her names appear today in scrolls, museums, street arts, feminist movements, and philosophy lectures. Even on the moon, where a crater bears her name, knowledge made her dangerous, but wisdom made her unstoppable. The final message, her voice echoes, and in her own words, words that echo louder with every century. Hypatia leaves us with the final message: reserve your right to think. For even to think wrongly is better than not to think at all. let her voice to be louder than the mob who tried to silence her. And we still remember Hypatia for her teaching. Her life reminds us mind matters, teaching matters, and standing for truth matters. Even mostly, it leads to death. Thank you so much for watching. If Hypatia's story inspired you, if it made you think what you believe, what you will teach, and what you will stand for, then like this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, defend the right to think always.